Hey guys, Paul from Ashen Phoenix. It is New Comic Book Day for the week of January 6th. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, Paul!
We're going to start right now. This episode brought to you by shirts. It's a new year. You need a new shirt.
Is that how New Year's work?
That's pretty much how it works.
Huh.
I mean, it's how it works now. There's a link in the bio. Go buy a new shirt.
Hey guys, Tim from Capes and Scowls, the comic book store, Team Ashen, 65 other places. How are you? Time to talk about trades. First up, I've got a young reader book, Marvel Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. This is a level 2 reader, which means you're beginning to read. I thumbed through this. It's pretty cool. It's got a lot of different artwork in it. It's just like a good, easy story for your kids to start learning. We have House of L, one of the young adult novels for graphic novel from DC. I like this series of books. We have Artemis and the Assassin. I read issue 1 of this and I really liked it. I'll probably end up buying this. It was pretty good. I've got an epic collection for Spidey. I don't remember if this is new or a re-release, but it's back if it is. This is volume 7 of the epic collections. It has issues 105 to 123, so it just gets to the Gwen Stacy stuff. Firepower, volume 2. That really fun Kirkman book that's equal parts, I don't know. It feels like the main character is Ryu from Street Fighter, and I like that. Right, Paul? Paul's not listening. Psylords from Valiant. This looks pretty cool. I did not read this either. Terrible. This is issues 1 through 8, though, so it's a thicker volume, and it's only $24.99, so that's actually not that bad. This is amazing, because it's Jason Aaron, it's Avengers, and it's Moon Knight. And who doesn't love Moon Knight? Wrong people don't like Moon Knight. Moon Knight's the best ever. That's all I have to say. Incredible Hulk. Who will judge the Hulk? Part of the epic collection. He fights Doom in this one. Win. This is volume 5 if you are keeping track of the numbers. And this is issues 138 to 156, which is really good. We've got from Scout Comics, North Bend. I don't know anything about this, but I thumbed through it and it looks amazing. So I will definitely look into that a little more. I've been reading a lot more Scout books, which is good. Join the Future from Zach Kaplan. He's a very great guy. This book is fantastic. I did review this a lot. Just a really cool story, so definitely check that one out. And finally, we got Arrow, Volume 2. Really cool artwork in this one. Just good stuff. And Amy Chu shows up, which is great. It's adapted by Amy Chu. He's still not listening to me.
First up, we have the next Batman. I don't care. The problem with that I feel is Future State is going to be the issue here. If you like the characters, they're not the characters anymore. This isn't Bruce. So, am I supposed to care about the next Batman? Based on this writing, based on a very large book that only has about 12 pages of it devoted to the next Batman, the answer is no. Because it's like a 40-page book, and only a tiny bit of it is actually about the Batman. They cram entirely too much of other things with the Outsiders and Arkham Knights and all the things that they're trying to do when they could have just easily done that in another book, but they were kind of afraid to because they think that we wouldn't care about buying another book, and they're probably right. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to read the rest of this. I don't know if I'm going to read the rest of Future State because, again, it's not our people. So it's up to you. If you really like who the next Batman might be, and I'm not going to spoil who it could be because I don't know if they've really told you who it is. It is someone you know. It's not just they pulled this out of the hat. It's actually a character you know. But is it something you care about? And that's going to be the biggest problem, I think, moving forward with this Future State. If it's not something you care about, then you're not going to care about what's going on. I don't think there was enough of this story to pull you in. They're not going to pull you in with 12 pages of a 40-page book. If this was the entire story, if all 40 pages of this was talking about the new Batman and grounding him into this new universe, I think you would care a lot more. But the fact that they bring in so much of the Outsiders and so much of the Arkham Knights, you just completely forget what you read in the first place. So it's up to you if you want to grab that. It's an $8 book. and that makes me not like it even more. So it's up to you.
All right, first up for me, we have King in Black, Return of the Valkyries, issue 1. This is a really cool story. This involves the Jane Foster version of Valkyrie initially, and it's her trying to find the Sentry's soul and take it to where it belongs. There is a lot going on here. The artwork was beautiful, and just some really crazy things happening in this book, just visually. Other Valkyries do start showing up, and you realize they're all kind of getting drawn together. Fun book, interesting. As far as a tie into King in Black, it's a little bit outside. It's literally outside of Earth, in a limbo type area. Pretty interesting. Just a fun read. I really just enjoyed it. I really liked the Valkyrie run, the Jane Foster run. I loved the beginning of it, especially with Bullseye showing up. So yeah, it's good to see these characters again, and we'll see where this goes. But I enjoyed it. I love the Sentry's dialogue and some of the things he says, because he's not really with it. He's a soul now. I didn't think there'd be anything else with him either, which is a nice continuation here. So if you're enjoying King in Black and you're just like, what else can they do that's kind of out of the ordinary, this is a good pickup.
Next up, almost my pick of the week. This is such a cute book. It's The Last Witch. It talks about a little girl in, I think kind of an Irish or Scottish thing. Think Brave, but also think, what was that movie? What was that?
Boondock Saints.
No, that. What?
Sorry.
No.
They were Irish.
M. Night Shyamalan.
The one with the trees?
Yes. No, not the. No. No, not The Happening.
I'm having a lot of fun. A lot of fun is happening.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Who's that?
And Joaquin Phoenix.
I know him.
In that movie, where they're in the village. The Village.
Oh yeah,
Village.
that one.
So this is kind of a combination of Brave and The Village. It's a little girl and a little boy who kind of bet each other that they can find the last witch's castle, and the whole village is terrified of going past the brush. And it's an interesting setup. I think there's going to be a lot more to this book. I think this is really setting the groundwork to a great universe. I don't know how long this book is going to be running, but this really did set up a lot. It really did feel very organic, with still notes that you can remember and kind of feel familiar to you. It was a really fun story, and I want to see more of it. Really nice cliffhanger at the end to kind of push you in the direction. You know more is coming, and it gives you just enough to keep you interested in this book to get to issue number 2. And that's kind of what you want in issue number 1.
All right, so I struggled with which one of the next 2 books was going to be the pick of my week. Very much struggled until to the point where I just picked it now. But before I get to my pick of the week, I guess like half pick of the week is Future State Wonder Woman number 1. Really super good book. You are introduced to the new Wonder Woman, and she is having an adventure going through hell, kind of. She's trying to make her way to hell. Joelle Jones writes and draws this. It's got Jordi Belair on it as well. It's got Clayton Cowles, just all people I like working on this book. And the art is so good. It's so beautiful. The violence is pretty good. The dialogue is also pretty good, where I don't know, it conveys that she's a different Wonder Woman. She doesn't talk like Diana, and she kind of has a younger feel to her. I don't know how old she's supposed to be in this book, but it was a very interesting take on Wonder Woman. The art's great. Joelle Jones doing both art and the writing duties is a pretty good idea for this, I think. And I was pretty happy with it. And God, should this have been my pick of the week? I just don't know. But you'll see what else I have here. But yeah, all great people working on this book, so check it out.
My pick of the week, it is Eternals issue number 1. Now, why is this my pick of the week?
Why?
It's not just because there's so many freaking issues of this. I know nothing about the Eternals. I don't. I know absolutely nothing. Kieran Gillen made me care about the Eternals. I don't think anybody really knew who this was. I'm pretty sure it's just pushing us to care about the series and care about the X-Men coming into the MCU, and I think this is the way they're going to be bridging it. But this book was really good. If you know nothing about the Eternals, it sets the stage and it tells you everything you need to know without forcing it down your throat. And you learn organically who these are, where they've been, and where they're going to be going. And you're following Icarus as he is the last Eternal to be reborn and kind of take his place in the hierarchy and the political intrigue that is the Eternals framework as they try to handle a deviation. And that's what the Eternals are there for, to handle deviations within the machine. And like I said, you cared. You actually liked this story, even if you know nothing about the characters. And I think that's very important. I think it's something that was failed in the previous book that I did earlier today. It made you care about the characters that you don't have any real attachment to if you're coming into this book. And that is wildly important when you're launching something as ambitious as a title like this. And that's why I think Future State failed. This, however, is a great book, a great cliffhanger that does pull you into the Marvel Universe, because even though this is set so far above and beyond, think the cosmic galaxy and things like the Guardians of the Galaxy, if you're thinking MCU, so far out, but it still pulls itself back into the MCU, and that's what this book does. It's an amazing read. I really think you should definitely pick this up. If you're not a fan of the Eternals already, this is something you should be checking out because I think it's going to be a really good ride. So grab it.
All right, so what is my pick of the week? It's Star Wars, people. It's Star Wars The High Republic, #1, and it just barely eked out Wonder Woman, and I think the reason being that this is such a cool Star Wars story. This takes place at the very beginning. This is the High Republic, takes place before Phantom Menace, and we haven't really touched that timeline of Star Wars. Not really. So it's cool that they're doing this and some books to accompany as well. And I love it because it's Star Wars, but it's different because there's a ton of Jedi instead of not a lot. And you're following different types of characters. You have your Jedi Knight, you have your Council. Really, there's only one familiar character that shows up. You can probably guess which one it could be. Pretty interesting story, really good. It feels like a setup issue, but it's still my pick of the week because it gave me everything I wanted. It gave me more Star Wars in a different realm, and the possibilities are endless. So if you're a Star Wars fan, how could you possibly pass this up? It's filling in some blanks. Just check it out. It's great. All right, guys. Thank you for checking out the video again. Paul thanks you as well. Yeah, Happy New Year. You know, dust off after all the holiday shenanigans and just try to have a good time. Have a good day, have a good night, whatever it is. And we'll see you next week. Paul, you got anything to add? You want to add anything, Paul?
No, we're good.
Paul says we're good.
Maybe. I don't know.
Shut up, Paul. It's too late. The time has passed. It's over, Paul.
What?
No, it's done. You had a moment. I even offered you this olive branch, and you said no. Not about it.
I wasn't sure.
Well, are you sure now?
Not anymore.
That's just too darn bad.
I don't know. Sorry.
You
Why
are.
would I apologize? I have no idea.
You are sorry. I agree. All right, everybody. You have a good rest of your evening. Bye.